Hi, I'm Rachel Stravelli and I'm a writer, coach, and speaker, and I'm so delighted you're here today. If you'll go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below, you'll always be the first one to know when new videos come out, and it'll help other great people like yourself to hear about me and connect with them and hopefully improve their lives too. Today I'm connecting with you about what I'm reading this month, and I'm a really avid reader. I typically read more than one book at a time, not literally one at a time, but I love to read on all different kinds of topics. So feel free below to comment if you've read any of the books that I'm going to share, or if you have another book that one of these books makes you think of that you think that I would like, because I'm really open and always looking for new books to read. So I would be delighted if you leave me a comment about that. All right, the first one is the only fiction one that I'm going to mention, and it's called When You Read This. This is a new release. It's really great. If you like books like Where'd You Go, Bernadette, and things of that nature, you're going to love this. It's kind of modern, a little bit quirky, a little bit sassy, really sad in one part, but I don't want to give anything away. And I just really thoroughly enjoyed it. Even though it did make me sad in some parts, I had to keep on reading because I was like, I just want to know what happens, and it was great. The rest, as I said, are nonfiction. I typically read a lot of fiction and nonfiction, but this month, right now, it's a lot of nonfiction. So this one I just finished, which was really great. If you're at all into minimalism or thinking about intentional lifestyle design and how to live life in a different way, and thinking deeply about what are your priorities in the world, I find it's really great to hear about other people's lives and how they've shifted and done things that were a little bit different than the status quo. So this is one woman's book about, she interviews other people. She talks about her and her husband transitioning from like a stereotypical Western American life to living in a tiny home in Portland, Oregon. And it has interviews with other people and talks about tiny home living and intentional choices and building community and all that. So if anything like tiny houses, minimalism, or intentional living appeals to you, then I think you should definitely check this one out. This is one I'm doing for my local book club this month. This is actually an older edition of Playing Big. There's a newer edition out with a different cover. This book is so incredible. A lot of the teachings that I do are very similar to things she speaks of here, which I think just means like good wisdom is taught by a lot of different people. She's all about women playing big, because a lot of people are playing small just because, culturally speaking, that's kind of what we've been taught to do, and some people don't even realize that they're playing small until they think about, oh wow, like I haven't been giving a voice to my desires, I haven't been pursuing my calling, because I keep on thinking, who am I to do that? She talks about living in a bigger way, listening to your inner mentor. I speak of it as intuition and inner wisdom, but inner mentor is a great analogy as well. Working with your inner critic, recognizing different types of fear, that there's a fear that's like a fear that shuts us down, that's an actual like fear of things that are scary. But then there's also the fear that we feel that is fear of things that are us stepping into a bigger sphere or bigger life for ourselves. And she has advice on how to take a leap and how you know if what you're trying to do is taking a leap forward. And she talks about ways that you might be playing small that you didn't even realize were you playing small. So I highly recommend this. If you have any interest in starting your own book club, this would be a fabulous one to have in your book club. All right, and the next three books are very much personal development / business. So this one came out a number of years ago, but I've read several of his books and realized that I hadn't read The $100 Startup yet. So I think I've read of almost everything else by Chris Guillebeau, but I'm coming back to read this one just to get the whole Guillebeau education done. Reinvent the way you make a living, do what you love, and create a new future. If you're thinking about starting a business or in the first year or two of your business, this is a great book to help you think about things to do. And even if you don't want a huge business, like a lot of the people that he talks about, some of these people, it's just a side hustle. And he actually has a podcast, Side Hustle School Podcast, I think is the name of it. That's a great podcast. Comes out almost every day, or I think it still does come out every day unless he stopped. And yeah, great book. Lots of interesting, inspiring things. Even if you don't want to do a business, if you know people who are doing business, or you just like hearing about other people's lives and things that they've done that are impressive, then I think you would enjoy this one. This one is probably only going to be of interest to you if you have a business or are trying to put yourself out as your own personal brand. So if you consider yourself an influencer, if you'd like to be, then you would probably want to read this book. Oversubscribed, How to Get People Lining Up to Do Business with You by Daniel Priestley. I'm not finished yet. And I definitely think he makes some really great examples in here. And since I haven't finished, I can't really tell you, like, does it live up to what the premise is. I feel like it's going to, because a lot of people highly recommended this book. The other thing I think is with him and probably a lot of other business books, they can tell us the patterns for success, but you yourself have to do what is unique to you in your business to get to where you want to go. And so people can give you a framework or a roadmap or a trail guide, but ultimately, like, you have to be the one tweaking that for your own life and your own business. And I think sometimes people read books or buy courses or connect with someone because they just want everything laid out for them and the whole plan, and not even just the whole plan, but like, tell me step by step every little thing. And you can do that. I even help clients getting started with some of this step by step, but you have to also be working towards, how am I going to get to the point where I don't need somebody else to show me the step by steps. I feel confident enough and secure enough with my inner wisdom, my decision making, and the goals and values of my business to move forward. So I definitely think this is a good read, but it's not one of those books that like will teach you everything you need to know about business and then you're good. But if you're interested in getting a lot more business or building an email list, this definitely seems like a good one. And I love some of the examples he gives of other businesses who are pulling in lots of different people and they are oversubscribed. So that's one to think about. Lastly, and this one is pretty thick. So I'm kind of just picking from this, a chapter here, a chapter there. Sometimes it's my inspirational morning reading. Other times later in the day I read it and get out my journal and reflect on it. But The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. One of the reasons I'm not reading this cover to cover, although that'd probably be of great value too, is I'm just looking at the table of contents and picking a chapter that speaks to me. And this book is so dense with so much quality information and guidance for you that what I find is when I have my journal, I can read a few pages and then write and reflect on that. And that's enough to take me like for the next few days mulling and thinking and developing and working on the ideas he presents. So I love a book like that because I can definitely see like he put a lot of effort into this because sometimes like a book this thick, some books can have fluff in it, but so far I haven't had any fluff in this. And even if some of the things that you come across in here, you might have heard other places before because, okay, like, is every success principle he's come up with novel to him? No. Like some of it I'm sure you've read if you read other success books or personal development or self-growth books, but it is great to hear how different people present it, and I've definitely got some great stuff out of this book, so I definitely recommend it. All right, and that's the last one for now. I want to remind you again that I would love to hear what you're reading right now. If any of these books you have read, what your impressions were of the books. Did you have any book recommendations that you want to give me? Because I'm always looking and listening for new books. And I definitely would like to hear if there's something that has really inspired you and gotten you motivated or made you think about the world in a new way. And it doesn't have to be about business or personal development or minimalism. Like, there are a lot of different topics that I'm open to reading about. So if there's one that you find amazing, then comment below and share it with me. In the link below, I'm going to put a link so you can sign up for my email list. And also you'll have the opportunity to do a free 20-minute power call with me. Where we can focus on your goals, and it can be in the form of a pep talk. It could be a mini coaching session. We can tweak it to whatever your needs are at this moment, but I'd love to connect with you. So click the link below so you can leave your email and we can get connected and you can do a free call. All right, again, I'm Rachel Stravelli, and thanks so much for connecting. Like this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.